This video was going to be me exclaiming how excited I am for Cricket 24 to finally be releasing on the Nintendo Switch, which is set to happen on the 28th of March. But after watching the extremely odd raw footage video that Big Ant Studios put out on their YouTube channel, I have to question what is going on at Big Ant Studios. Welcome to gaming and welcome to another, well, Big Ant Studios video, I guess. I usually don't like to get too negative on this channel, but I have to question decisions by the publishers and studios for all sports games I cover here. This will probably land me in Big Ant's naughty list, which seems to be filling up recently, with any criticism resulting in a block on Twitter. And if you look on the raw footage Switch video, comments are turned off, which usually means they were expecting negative comments or they were already getting them and then turned the comments off. Having covered their cricket franchise for 5 years now and being a fan of it, the release of Cricket 24 has seen an odd approach. Some of you who watched my videos leading up to the release of Cricket 24 will remember me questioning the strange marketing strategy from the company. Even looking back to their previous installments, we had a demo challenge mode to play and a series of videos leading up to the release that spotlighted the game. But for Cricket 24, we got some brief videos for a few weeks before release and some still images. The actual trailer of the game was released on the day the game came out, which is just completely pointless. The game had issues upon release, but as always, Big Ant Studios are usually pretty quick to fix things in their games, and the game is much more playable now than it was when it released. We've seen this to be the case with some of their other games recently too, AFL being the most prominent one that I can remember seeing issues highlighted online. Now, I've never played AFL, it's not a sport that interests me, but I remember seeing a lot of criticism on Twitter when that game launched. Now we are 6 months on from Cricket 24's release, which, by the way, already missed its launch slot. Because it is the official game of the Ashes, it was supposed to launch around that series. It instead got delayed back to October. Now it's finally time for the game to release on Nintendo Switch, something Switch owners aren't happy about, and they wonder why it didn't launch at the same time as other consoles. Benefit of doubt given, the Switch is slightly different from other consoles, so maybe there were some extra things needed to get the game running properly on the Switch. So, Big Ant Studios put out a video titled Raw Footage of Cricket 24 Switch, exactly 1 week before it comes to the console, and it is a grand total of 1 minute long. Breaking down what we see, we get to see the menu screen, the matchmaking screen versus the CPU. We get to see the ground cutscene ahead of the match, which lags and stutters. Again, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt for this because Switch games are usually a lower FPS than their PS5 or Xbox counterparts, although supposedly the Switch system can see games hit 60 FPS. We get to see the players getting ready for the game, and sure, the graphics aren't as good as the other consoles, but again, that's to be expected. The beauty of this being on Switch for me is that I'll be able to play my favourite cricket game in bed on a night or out and about when I'm away from my home. We get to see Australia deliver a ball to the England batters, and then it switches over to the England batters' point of view. As the ball is being delivered by the Australian bowler, the video cuts out mid-delivery. I genuinely couldn't believe this. I thought, is this an upload error? Was the video supposed to be longer than 1 minute? But actually the video's been up for a couple of days now, and it hasn't been changed, it hasn't been pulled and a new version uploaded. So why even bother uploading this? They could have shown us one delivery from bowlers, they could have shown us the batters getting a shot off, and then maybe some fielding gameplay as well. It just leaves fans thinking that the game isn't actually ready for the release, and it'll potentially put them off from buying it. This is just another example of very strange marketing we've seen for Cricket 24, and Big Ant Studios don't seem to be taking the criticism well at all. Now, it's understandable when you've put time, money and effort into something and people rag on it that it will upset you, but the criticism is justified from where I'm sitting. This also comes on the back of the PSL now having been played to completion and not all the players having their player scans in the game. Something the studio has said was going to happen. This has left PSL fans disappointed. I've seen the studio and Ross hit back at this on Twitter, claiming that there are reasons why this has been delayed and not all been completed. But I mean, come on, it's another example of things having come and passed now with Cricket 24 and targets not being met, in my opinion. Big Ant Studios may well be the most active sports video game developer around. Cricket, rugby, AFL and tennis to name a few sports that they are developing games for. The industry on a whole is going through some pretty big changes. We're seeing a lot of game developers trim down their workforce. Are Big Ant Studios being affected by this? I haven't actually seen anything announced from the studio themselves regarding this. Are they stretching themselves too thin with all these games being developed and maintained at once? Who knows, but it's honestly been a strange year for Big Ant Studios. And guys, if you're watching, this is just honest feedback from a fan. So what do you think's happening at Big Ant Studios regarding all of their games really? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one.